They laughed when she built her fortress. At first, the townspeople of Redridge thought it was a joke, a hilltop stone wall, another of Amelia Cross's eccentric projects. She had always been different, even as a child. Quiet, analytical. She asked questions nobody else cared to answer. But when she returned to the town after 15 years in the city, with no explanation, and bought the entire northern hill, people began to talk. When she started pouring concrete and hauling steel beams up the mountainside, they began to whisper. When walls rose against the skyline and gates sealed off the only road to the summit, whispers became laughter. Old Amelia's building herself a castle. Better hope the zombies never come, Cross. What's next? A moat. Amelia said nothing. She spoke to no one. Her fortress grew stone by stone, year by year. She didn't hire local workers. Materials arrived at night, unmarked trucks winding silently up the hill. Surveillance drones circled overhead, scaring off the curious. Rumors spread like wildfire. Some said she was hiding from enemies. Others claimed she was preparing for the apocalypse. Most simply believed the easier truth. Amelia Cross had finally lost her mind. But Amelia knew better. Every morning, she reviewed her threat projections. Every night, she recalculated supply chains. She watched the global networks fracture. She listened to the hidden signals. She remembered the patterns from her years in defense infrastructure. Collapse wasn't a question of if, only when. And when it came, she would be ready. The world outside would burn, her fortress would endure. The people who mocked her, they would learn. But not yet. Collapse arrived silently. It didn't begin with explosions, but with silence. At first it was small, an outage, a down network. Communications stuttered, then failed. Redridge, like every town in the region, was disconnected without warning. Phones died, cars stalled, card readers stopped working, electricity flickered, then vanished. People gathered in confusion. News came not from televisions, but from strangers, from refugees. They poured in from the cities, silent, ash-covered, eyes hollow. They told stories no one wanted to believe. Power grids sabotaged, bridges collapsed, emergency broadcasts silent. Entire cities isolated and starving. Automated weapons systems hijacked. Panic riots, executions, system failure. Some tried to fight, most tried to run. None succeeded. By the second night, Redridge's shelves were empty. Fuel tanks dry, hospitals overcrowded, roads useless. And then they remembered Amelia Cross. Their hilltop joke, their madwoman in the fortress. Hundreds of desperate people stumbled up the winding road, hands outstretched. Amelia watched from her control tower. Infrared cameras revealed the chaos below. Her projections had been accurate, but she felt no satisfaction. This was not a moment of victory. This was the moment her fortress was built for. The external speakers powered on. Her voice, silent for years, rolled down the hillside. Approach the gate slowly. People begged. People screamed. People cried. She opened the gates, not because she forgave them, because she needed them alive. Inside, silence swallowed the crowd. What they expected, cold stone, empty chambers, dusty corridors, vanished before their eyes. Amelia had built not a fortress of fear, but a machine of survival. Multiple layers of walls, automated defense arrays, water filtration systems, solar generators buried beneath reinforced concrete, hydroponic farms already growing, medical bays ready, food stores calculated to the calorie. Everything had a purpose. Every bolt, every wire, every emergency routine. And yet, the people stared at Amelia, not with gratitude, but with fear. She moved through them like a ghost, silent, efficient, assigning sleeping quarters, activating ration protocols, calculating oxygen consumption per family unit. Sheriff Daniels tried to stop her once. These people are scared. They're not soldiers. Amelia's voice cut through him like steel. They're survivors, and they will follow instructions. From that moment, she became not just the architect of the fortress, she became its command. But outside, danger grew. Her external sensors detected movement. Massive, coordinated, unknown forces moving through the valleys. Not lost refugees, not the starving. Militia, organized, armed. Amelia analyzed their approach patterns. They weren't coming for refuge. They were coming to take her fortress. Her walls wouldn't hold forever. And she knew it. She initiated Protocol Iron Wall. External defenses activated fully. Non-lethal turrets powered with sonic cannons. Perimeter mines primed. Outer gates sealed. Inside, civilians were relocated to the inner sanctum. The townspeople watched, terrified, as Amelia's machines transformed the fortress into a war engine. They realized what she had truly built, not just shelter, but defense. Her silence, her obsession, her years of isolation, all of it had led to this. Sheriff Daniels approached her one last time. "What are they?" Amelia didn't look up from her console. "Wolves." The first assault came at midnight. Armored trucks rumbled through the outer barricades. Drone swarms cut through the night. Her turrets fired, her shields held. For 30 hours, the fortress endured. But Amelia knew her resources. Her solar grids couldn't power the defenses indefinitely. Her ammunition reserves dwindled, her reactors strained. The militia forces weren't reckless. They were patient. They circled, tested, searched for weaknesses. Amelia watched, calculating the odds. She had over 400 people inside her walls. Her fortress had enough to protect 50, not 400. Her walls would fall. The realization didn't shake her. It clarified her purpose. She initiated Protocol Blackglass. Protocol Blackglass was never meant to protect the fortress. It was meant to bury it. She led the townspeople into the deepest level, the core sanctum. A chamber sealed beneath meters of reinforced concrete, designed to survive direct attacks. It was self-contained, its own air, its own water, its own light. But it wasn't designed for this many. Her systems would fail. Soon. Amelia knew this. She did not tell them. Instead, she rerouted all power to the core. She distributed emergency rations evenly. She locked the inner gates. And she stayed outside. Sheriff Daniels pleaded with her. "You can't fight them alone." Her answer was quiet. "I'm not fighting them." She triggered the collapse. Structural charges detonated. The upper fortress imploded inward. Tunnels sealed. Perimeter defenses detonated in controlled collapse. The entire mountain swallowed itself. Beneath the stone, 417 people huddled in silence. Above them, Amelia Cross stood in the dust of her ruined fortress. Alone. When the enemy breached, they found nothing but rubble. She didn't negotiate. She didn't surrender. She didn't explain. She slowed them down. The militia, frustrated, scavenged the ruins. Their sensors failed to detect the sanctum buried beneath them. The detonated infrastructure jammed their equipment. Their leaders, arrogant and impatient, assumed Amelia had fled. In truth, she remained, hidden within collapsed tunnels she memorized years before. She watched them move. She mapped their patrols. She recorded their frequencies. For days, she hunted them from the shadows of her broken walls. One by one, she dismantled their operation. Power nodes sabotaged. Ammunition caches detonated. Drones hijacked. They never saw her coming. Her body weakened. Her mind sharpened. Every calculation mattered. Every step planned. But time was not her ally. Her lungs burned from dust inhalation. Her vision blurred. Sleep became an old memory. Still, she fought. Not to save herself, to delay them long enough. Below, the people survived. Each day she slowed the enemy was another day of air, another day of food, another day of life. She counted days not in hours, in lives extended, and a single woman waiting for them. She bought them time, she bought them hope, she bought them silence. Deep within the core sanctum, survivors knew nothing of her battle. The children asked when Amelia would return. The adults gave no answers. Sheriff Daniels managed rationing, but supplies dwindled. Oxygen scrubbers strained under numbers Stray weren't designed to support. Hope decayed with each passing day. Above, Amelia's war continued. Her traps grew desperate. Improvised explosives from salvaged reactor cells. Redirected drone units running automated attacks. She fought as shadows, never letting them see her face. Yet she knew the end approached. Her body could not endure, but her mind remained calculating. And it devised one final plan. She accessed her last weapon, the mountain itself. Seismic destabilization. She could bury them all. Enemy and fortress together. She hesitated. To use it meant sacrificing the people below, her own people. The town that hated her. The town that mocked her. But now, depended on her. For the first time in 20 years, Amelia hesitated. She recalculated. Again, until exhaustion overtook her. She collapsed in the ruins of her command center, calculations scrolling across her cracked display. She had one option left, and no strength to trigger it. Sheriff Daniels found her. Guided by memory and desperate hope, he led a small team through emergency maintenance shafts she had once shown him long ago, back when they were children exploring the hills together. What he found broke him. Amelia lay unconscious amid shattered consoles, her fingers still twitching in her sleep, coding defense sequences even as her body failed. Her skin was gray with dust. her breathing shallow. Daniels carried her back to the core sanctum. She awoke 3 days later, beneath the mountain she built. The survivors gathered around her. This time they didn't mock her. This time, they didn't ask why. They asked what to do, and Amelia, weakened but alive, gave them her answer. We survive. With her last strength, she reprogrammed the oxygen scrubbers to run at double failure tolerance. She instructed Daniels how to redistribute ration packs. She passed her role, not as a commander, but as a guide. She had always known the fortress wouldn't save them. Only discipline would. Only unity. Only hope. And then, for the first time in 20 years, Amelia Cross closed her eyes. And rested. The days blurred. The militia abandoned the ruins above, unable to locate the survivors buried beneath. Their frustration turned to chaos. Internal battles broke their ranks. When government recon drones returned to the region weeks later, they found no organized resistance left. Amelia's fortress, or what remained of it, had outlasted them. The emergency response teams excavated for days. When the first steel doors of the core sanctum were pried open, they found 412 survivors alive. Hungry, weak, but alive. Sheriff Daniels led them into the sunlight. The world outside was not as they remembered, but it was a world, and it owed its existence to one woman. Amelia Cross remained in the sanctum, too weak to walk. Her eyes adjusted slowly to the floodlights of the rescue team. She didn't smile. She simply asked one question. How many? When Daniels answered, her body finally relaxed, and she whispered, enough. Today, what remains of Redridge Fortress stands as a monument. Not to war, not to fear, but to preparation, to sacrifice. Children learn Amelia Cross's name in school. They don't call her Mad. They call her the architect. She never spoke to the reporters, never accepted medals. When asked why she built the fortress, her answer was always the same, because no one else would. She lived the remainder of her life quietly in a small house near the rebuilt town she saved. Every morning she walked to the hillside, where her fortress once stood, and watched the sunrise. They laughed when she built her fortress. They begged when they needed it. And when she opened her gates, she saved them all.